of us are even connected to our pictures again.
Every trophy won. Every wicket you break.
All right, good people. We are going live, and the mics are hot.
Welcome inside the locker room.
Good morning, Lagos, and welcome. We're talking sports now inside the locker room on Smooth Breakfast with Valentine.
And Folu.
Yes, and joining us in the studio, our ever worthy, ever just present sports analyst, sports pundit. We have got Tega Onojaife, aka Tega Supreme.
AKA her back is aching. Good morning, Lagos.
Yeah, right. The back was just stopped. Sorry. Sending healing vibes.
You'll
Sending
be
healing
fine,
vibes.
Tega.
And you'll be fine, Lagos. You'll be fine, Lagos, as well, especially if you follow us up on YouTube, because all our videos for the core segments go live up there as we are streaming live right now. YouTube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. That's the designation. Now, you can also send us messages this morning and comment on today's sporting stories. You can send those messages into our WhatsApp number. It is 0809 4440981. You can also tweet at us. Just use the hashtag LockerRoom981. And now we're going to talk some basketball. So LeBron James suffered a strained neck but did continue to play for the Cleveland Cavs in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics on Tuesday night. Before checking out, James made one of 2 free throws, giving Cleveland its largest lead of that game at 11 points. The Cavs were outscored, though, by 24 the rest of the way after the collision, losing 107-94 and falling down 2-0 in the series. Cav coach Tyrone said it was a tough collision, knocked his head sideways. Of course, he came back, but when he came back, I don't think he had the same punch that he had before he left. As far as attacking the basket, playing with that force and power we talked about at shoot around, we'll see how he feels. He knocked himself silly.
And then he still came back. Was your best player? Scored
You're like, I'm
42
okay.
points.
Okay.
Assist like, look, for a guy to set that kind of triple-double and still end up on the losing side, it's just
There are a lot of questions.
It's just ridiculous. Yes, it's one guy playing great basketball. He was shooting at some point 9 of 15, and the rest of the Cavs team 7 of 15.
But they just clapping for him. They just cheering.
They were like me. They were watching.
Spectators.
They were just standing on. Just that they had closer view, so they were on the court watching, and I was watching from the house. You understand?
Listen, I'm just a little bit concerned that we're going to see LeBron literally die on the line if he's not careful.
I think what LeBron is going to do is like next season he's just going to not next season. He's already started packing his bags. He will just I think we're wondering right now what team he's moving to. But the Celtics, they're completely. It's not. It's the way they move the ball around. It's the fearlessness they have. Like, he that is down needs fear no fall. That's where they are at this point in time. So it's not. You don't know what tactics you're going to use to break them down, because they're going for everything and the baskets are just falling for them. For the Cavs, what they really need is for Kevin Love, J.R. Smith to put up the same numbers that they put up against Toronto Raptors. So if the rest of the cast, Tristan Thompson, Kyle Korver, just help drop some good Toronto Raptors numbers against Boston Celtics, then maybe the Cavs will be able to do something at home against Celtics. But it's going to be a really tough call, because those guys defend very well. Those guys move the ball around very well. So you don't even know. I mean, you think you're almost like 2008 squad, almost. Just that squad had a lot more experience and a lot more skills. These guys is really, you can just say that it's mostly desire and hunger that's pushing them. So it's a really tough one. Yes, I've seen the Cavs come back from 3-1 down, and even in an NBA finals, playoff finals. But I just don't know how they're going to outfight the Celtics. But having watched this and still watching the Western Conference and seeing what Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors are doing, I still see that the NBA champions this season will come from the West.
Interesting. I'm saying in terms of LeBron packing his bags, and he's just packing, just focus on movies. I think he has a strong future.
He has, yeah.
He's
He
actually
does. He
a
has a
really
lot of
good actor.
superstar friends like that, so
No,
that'll
if
be
you
an
move to
industry he'll make
Houston,
money
just
from.
move to Houston. There's already a small team there. There's Harden there. There's Chris Paul there. Just move to Houston and
But
we'll
he's
be set
getting
for-
old. Don't break your body.
He has played enough already. He's tried.
Yeah, he won't have to break his back. Harden will break his back. Then Brown will just be making the money.
I'll take that, please. Now, let's go back home. Now, former Green Eagles goalkeeper Emmanuel Okala has hailed the technical advisor of the Super Eagles, coach Janet Raw, for the World Cup provisional list. He said that it's a good list with promising players. Now, Emmanuel describing Raw, he said he's in charge, and I know he will always do the best for the country. I have no reservations that the list is a good one, and provisionally, the best for the country for now.
What it is a lot of questions were. Or a lot of questions were raised about that list. Who is going to go? And if people go, what are they going to do there? I think the biggest shock on that list was Junior Ajayi missing the list and Lokosa making the list. I heard that he was going to make the list, but is he going to make Russia? It's two different things. List is different
List is one.
from Russia.
Going to the place is another.
So I don't know. I mean, I look at that list and some names pop out to me. For me, defensively, I really don't care about attack. I still think defensively, if they're going to drop anybody, Steven Eze should not be on the names of people dropped. I don't think they should drop a lot of defensive names, but I haven't seen any. When the list came out, I don't think I was really surprised. I think the only person missing was Junior Ajayi. That was a shock for me. And Lokosa, I already heard that he was going to make the list. That was not surprising. But apart from that, it was pretty much same old. It was pretty much, yeah. But any names? Okay, let's do something. Mention any names you wanted to see on the list and you didn't see on the list, and you
hope
really
to see.
you hoped would have made the list.
Yeah,
That's
send it to
what
us on
we'll do.
WhatsApp
Because I don't think I
0809
was surprised by anything.
4440981.
Indeed. All right, let's move on now. So Denis Shapovalov continued his fine form in clay as he ousted experienced Czech Thomas Berdych on his Rome Masters debut. The 19-year-old recorded the biggest win of his clay court career with a fearless 1-6, 6-3, 7-6, and then 7-5 victory in 2 hours and 4 minutes to announce his arrival in Rome. That's a long playing time. Shapovalov told reporters, "It was a pretty tough first set, but I got footing on the court and picked up my game. And I feel like I live and die by my shots. I either go out swinging and winning or swinging and losing."
Yeah, and that's how he
Swinging.
plays. He leaves it all on the court. Sometimes it looks like a wild swing, and then you see that he's made the shot. You're like, whoa, this boy's bold. But he's 19.
tries.
It's the kind of audacity that comes with youthfulness.
Yes, it's a
but as
beautiful
he-
thing.
yeah, but
Fortune favors the bold.
As he gets older, he better be a bit more controlled. He will not win anything that way. He'll just be knocking out big names, but he will not be winning. That's where control comes in.
We'll see if he's able to fine tune that.
Yes,
and
he
just
has
kind
to-
of get that skill
Thank you.
perfect.
Because what it is he that is right now, he has nothing to lose. He has made no name. He's 19. It's Thomas Berdych that had a lot to protect. Came into the game, won the first set 6-1. I thought this is going
Yeah.
to be a blitz.
So it's got like a Texas attitude. Go big or go home.
And then Shapovalov did what he always does, and I think it's because his mom is watching him. She has a really big influence on his life. But this how he plays when his mom is on court, like, and she's there most of the time. It's like he doesn't want to go back home to her yelling at
Yes,
Tiger
ma'am.
Mom.
Do you know what he meets at home? He doesn't
She
know.
has that face, that game face. Like she's the one that's she's the mind that's playing behind him. But he's an amazing talent. The way he's risen in rankings, he's now. He just turned pro, I think maybe last year or the year before. But he's risen in ranking. He's now world number 29. And his men's ranking. It's not like it's the women's ranking where it's a bit too erratic. But the men's ranking, there's a bit of stability. You know who is who, ranks what at a particular point in time. But impressive to see him. He's not the only one. But I think the young girls are really coming out and trying to make a statement for themselves, because I think they realize that the way that Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal are lasting on the tour, if we don't fight now, we may never win anything till we are old. they're trying to push. So you see the likes of Chung, you see the likes of Alexander Zverev, who is defending champion at this tournament. Trying to push. Bonachori trying to push and make their names. But Shapovalov is definitely one of those with a loud shout in. Unfortunately, I just don't think he plays well enough to win a tournament. He knocks out big name. Yeah, he knocks out big name players. But for now, he's not. His game is not refined enough to win a tournament.
Let's see if we'll be able to watch that refinement happen over time. We've got to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with more sports stories here inside the locker room. So don't go anywhere. You can catch our behind the microphone gist up on youtube.com/smooth981 FM Lagos.
Excuse me.
She released him.
Yes, sir.
Then again, was it her that was holding on the military?
I think that's military.
Because I don't know these Malaysia people. Really, I don't know all these people that hunger is really. Look, when hunger is catching a continent or a country, I don't know how their decision making is. It's usually why I don't know what Nigeria is going to decide.
You don't know how what?
Our decision making is.
It doesn't affect them.
I don't know.
It's not a general thing that affects everybody.
No, I think it happens to countries where there's a lot of poverty. It happens to countries.
I'm going to open a Wema savings account to win an all-expense paid trip to Russia this summer by either opening a Wema savings or Latin account with 100,000 naira, increasing your existing balance with 100,000 naira, and maintaining 100,000 naira in your account for 30 days. Don't just trim it. Sign up now. Wema Bank. With you.
I heard. Ow! His back is paining me. I really didn't sleep well.
Thanks for calling into Football Master.
Nobody have put the names of the footballers that they wanted to see and did not see. And don't mention Brownie there.
The away side has 62% chance of winning,
That message is
18% chance of losing, and 2% of
So check for them.
Thank you so much.
Wait, check for when you start. No. You after that you can. I think we should end with LIS.
After which?
No.
Excuse me.
We'll come in to see what they're saying. Sing about it. Which names would have loved to see
maize, millet, oats, soya,
which names would have loved to see that were omitted and which names were surprised to see on the list?
Got me charged up for school. School, every home will be.
What camera are they all using like this? Can't who use their phone?
Deserves the new Golden One Pops breakfast cereal. The new Golden One Pops available in 500-gram pack and 50-gram sachet for a nutritious and tasty breakfast. Get your kids charged up for
For
school.
this political news.
Black
Cannot get
breaks
it.
the rules. Black has no restrictions. With Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
If I'm not going to cover event or if I'm going for a press conference,
Real
it's my
Coca-Cola
phone.
taste. Zero sugar.
My phone is not my midget. Speak
Yeah.
into my.
Ridiculous.
Come on, be carrying all this. See how they are scrambling now. Their camera cannot even focus.
Black.
How would I take picture?
Taste the feeling.
A child ripped up their allowance because they were not happy with the amount of money they were paid. What would you do if you were the mother? You
I'll pack
saw
the,
this-
I'll
you
give
saw this
you
money.
that money. So that's money you're going to survive on. Piece it together however you can. Not a Nigerian child.
I don't black out and wake up, the police will be there handcuffing me. The police will be handcuffing me. I'll be saying, what happened? Where's my child? Where's my child? No!
I've been locked up. It's the first thing to lock people.
I say I'll black out and wake up and they'll be arresting me.
Crazy.
Heritage Capital Assurance PLC. Be restored.
energetic and
Are we back?
ready to go smooth.
Okay. Studio, mics are up.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Inquire from Ghana, Efia. My Lagos is made up of food, of father rice, and the music, and the shrine, and Okada riding. Yes, I love that. And the people, so like energetic and ready to go. And y'all know how to make money. I love that about Lagos.
We are the money makers, to be
Yes,
honest.
we are
They call
resourceful.
us Moneymakers. Welcome. It's Smooth 98.1. We're talking sports inside the locker room, and we are reading your messages that have been pouring in. Victor Asai up on WhatsApp says the Cavs will lose this and LeBron will move to my Lakers. Why? Because there's a magic to Johnson pulling it.
Nice play on words.
I see what you did there. Ifeanyi Onwala says, I hope to see Brown Idea, he says. Okay.
I just mentioned that I didn't want to hear any Brown Idea, sorry.
But he's not the only one. Chimabi Victor echoes that same sentiment and says, but not just Brown Idea and Henry Onyekuru would have made the list, but
of the injury, yes. So the fitness for me takes out Henry Onyekuru, which is why I said when I looked at the list, I wasn't really shocked. But the shout for Brown Idea is that he's same of same. So,
but Chimabi Victor also says that, but he would be happy if Efe Ambrose is nowhere near that list.
No. Why? What list?
But does Omero stand a chance?
What?
Omero.
Omero. Stand a chance. Yeah. Playing with him in which defense? I said I'd rather take Steven Eze anywhere.
And Gozi Marcus comes back to say Efe Ambrose and Brown Idea should be on that list.
I don't think Efe Ambrose. No, Efe Ambrose certainly not. Like I said, Brown Idea, I understand the argument for him, which is why I was saying nobody should mention his name. But like I said, we need another option for a striker that is not same of same. Brown Idea and Odio Igalo will play the same thing. We'll take up the same positions.
All right.
Okay.
As you send in your messages, make sure you put your name to those messages on WhatsApp at 0809 4440981.
So please remember, just keep sending us the names you wanted to see on the list and the names you were shocked were omitted.
Okay. So after painful defeats in recent continental finals, Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid are determined to justify their status as favourites in Wednesday's Europa League showpiece against Marseille in Lyon. That's happening today. Now, the fullback Geoffran said, "We can't wait for the final to come around. Everything we've experienced in the last few years, we'll remember forever. I hope we can get another little medal."
Yeah. If you ask me, they still look. They really have justified so far their favourite tag, especially with the way they clinically knocked out Arsenal. It wasn't about how much possession they had or how many chances they created. It was that when they had the one chance, they took it. Both at the Emirates and at the Wanda Metropolitano. So at the end of the day, they look the team more. I mean, Marseille is that kind of team. They have everything going, the flash, the dash, the goals. Ultimately, when it comes down to finals, it's how well can you manage your game. And it seems so far Atletico Madrid have a better game management than Marseille. But today we'll find out which is better, which is more solid. I still think Marseille is saying, they'll come out, they'll give their best. I still think that it looks more like Atletico Madrid winning it, but I'm not going to rule out Marseille. They're going to entertain us. At the least they can do is entertain us.
Goetze has a message in. He says, "I believe I'm now addicted to 98.1 Smooth FM. Thank you very much. I don't miss it going to work every morning. Tega, please keep up the good work. I like the way you analyze sports." He added, "Ahmed Musa hasn't played good football in the last 6 months. Can't say why he made the list."
Okay.
That's shaky. That's a very look. If you're the coach, you know how to risk that kind of submit a list to technical committee. Ahmed Musa just scored a goal as CSK Moscow. They'll be like, "Where is Ahmed Musa? What will happen to our wing play?" Yeah. I think it's a risky one to just drop him. You have to have a better or a more superior solution before you can justify dropping him. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. Talk a little bit more sports. Pep Guardiola insists that he would rather win the Premier League again next season than the Champions League at Manchester City. So asked whether he'd rather win the Premier League again or Champions League, he says Premier League, no doubt. It will be a huge mistake to think, okay, now we have the Premier League, we're now going to go for the Champions League instead. Big mistake. To be out of the Champions League and win the Premier League again, I'd sign it now. The Premier League is the most important thing. It gives you the consistency to arrive at the right moment. The Champions League is so complicated. The opponents are so good, all of them.
Well, I don't want to say what Mourinho said, but Mourinho said it's a trophy that you win that looks very important.
Yes.
So, but if you ask me, I don't. Look, people like to say because the Champions League is all of Europe and your domestic league is more your home, that Champions League is bigger. It's like asking which one is a bigger trophy. Is it the World Cup or the UEFA or the CAF or the rest? But here is what it is. Your league shows your consistency. So you consistently perform at a certain level for you to win your league. UEFA Champions League shows your versatility, and that's what happens with most cup competitions. So if you're a bit versatile tactically, it shows in your UEFA Champions League or your cup competitions, which means that you can face opponents from anywhere and prepare the tactics to win them.
True.
But with the league, if you're not consistent, you cannot win the league. So I don't think I wouldn't say one is better than the other. But if you're asking me, if you go to a continent to play as a champion against the champions of other leagues and you lose, then the other leagues somehow start looking superior to your league at the end of the day. So I don't think he should say, I would rather win the Premier, I will sign the paper to win the Premier League now. They didn't bring it to win Premier League. Man City have won the Premier League before you came. By coaches, they're fired after those coaches won the Premier League. So what you need to do is win them a trophy that they have not won before. The trophy that they have been looking for, the trophy that they're paying you big money for, the trophy they spent over 500 million pounds to get you in to win. And it's a Champions League. So if you sign any paper now, you're signing your sack letter. Might just get ready. I don't want. I think he's trying to not put too much expectations. But I know, guaranteed, that next season, the way he's going for that Champions League, people will not believe
he's like, it's not important. Train.
Exactly.
Well, he's not the only one who's eyeing the Premier League next season. Chelsea forward Eden Hazard has challenged the club to match his ambition by signing good players if he's to extend his contract soon. Yeah, he's given them conditions. When he was asked, what will persuade him to extend his deal, Hazard said, "I'm waiting for new players next season. I want good players because I want to win the Premier League next season."
Well, at first he's happy and settled at Chelsea. You see, when people start to whisper that you are beautiful, your attitude will begin to change.
He won't win Premier League alone. He has his team members.
Yes, that's what the problem is now. The suitors have become plenty, and they are bringing real money. He has a contract to Chelsea to 2020, but I mean, people are talking about Real Madrid coming in. And so he's not trying to say, if they don't buy players, I may not stay in Chelsea at Chelsea. So he's giving himself a window to jump out of, just in case the money is too much for him to resist. But what it is ultimately is that yes, there's a lot of things Chelsea need to do again. But it's Chelsea. Chelsea is the one team I know. I've not seen that kind of thing before. They will play so excellent. Then the next season they will totally crumble. There's no middle ground for Chelsea. Is win or bust. That's usually how they are. So maybe the suitors, like I said, maybe the suitors and the agents are talking to him that this money is coming in. So he's looking for a way out. But ultimately, Eden Hazard, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not one of those that think that people should move because money came up. Because Real Madrid can really be a big bite to chew.
So, he's listening. You hear the warning.
All right, we've got messages coming through. Charles Chidozie says it's a pity Marseille isn't playing against a team like Arsenal. They would have stood a chance, but Atletico Madrid, they should prepare for next season. While Azuka JK up on, no, that's a different conversation entirely. Just make sure you use the hashtag lockerroom981. Makes it easier for us to get to your messages.
Cruz on WhatsApp says Zverev was able to work at his stability within 2 seasons, so let's still give Shapovalov some chance. The list be like Slender's list. Oh, interesting.
Schindler's List? What?
If it says, I feel we don't actually need 4 goalkeepers, or what do you think?
Oh no, they're going to drop goalkeeper now. They're just because you don't know which goalkeeper to take, so you want to pick the best of the lot, and you just invite. They're not taking 4 goalkeepers. How can they?
Mario from Satellite Town says, personally, I felt Tony Wakeme should have made the list. Okay. So different choices. This other one, Shay said, I like that Junior Lacosa is there. I like that he's there, but please, when playing, be a senior, not a junior. I hope that our South African club goalkeepers are not on the list, or is not on the list. Tega, please watch out. Marseille will shock Atletico tonight. It's a clear-cut warning.
While Imo from Ikeja says, Liverpool will win the Champions League. Smiley face. My reason? In 1981, Liverpool won the competition. Same period Diana and Charles got married. This month their kid is getting married, and Liverpool is in the Champions League final. Same period as well. Yeah. Smiley face. Feel me? We saw that meme. We don't believe it. Somebody call the Pope. We have to take a break. When we come back, there will be more sports conversations right here inside the locker room.
Okay, let me see. What's the next story?
This is
Neuer in the World Cup
Okay,
squad.
so it just takes us from the next tweet.
Okay.
Oh, Megan, you have entered where you wanted to go. It's just too much stress for Harry. I mean, if you're William, I'll go through all the stress. Harry is not going to make it through this run. That's why William is burning plenty. There's no choice. There's no way he's making it there.
Personal happiness first.
Yeah. So
Harry knows he's just like he's a military guy. He's just like, get through this. Let's get through this. Once we get through this, I can go back to my quiet space.
That's just too much stress for Harry. Do you understand? He's like
shining light. So much of light shining. Not since he wore a Nazi uniform. I think got so much attention.
But you want, and he may be used to it because he has a bit of but she is a bit more. I'm sure
she'll be used to it.
She's used to it now.
Are you joking?
She's
a Hollywood actress.
Yeah, she's been in.
Yeah, but
yes, the pressure, the real pressure of it is very different from this because of the royal aspect.
You're looking Hollywood actress. I'm saying Meghan Markle is more a self-conscious image person.
Yes.
So I'm not talking about the pressure of Hollywood actors.
Yeah.
Of course, she knows. I'm talking about her own personal.
Yeah.
She's more a self-conscious person. So even if she's used to Hollywood paparazzi, there's just a bit too much.
That's why I said this is more purposeful because it's not a general.
He's not a general.
These guys
thing.
are professional diggers, and you have to pay attention to
exactly.
this. And it's in a foreign country.
Exactly. It's just a lot of for Harry. For what? But I think she's also saying in her mind after May 19th. After May 19th.
It's muscling through.
Anytime.
Because it's just I didn't expect it. I mean, I expected them to do something, but not this whole big
from a
drama.
top-tier U.S. university.
And her sister should shut up and stop talking.
Seattle, Silicon Valley.
She just shut up and stop talking.
Oklahoma.
My God, Tega, I just saw this. So
Representatives
cute.
of Northeastern and Pace University.
What was that? Is this close?
Yes, top and short.
2018.
People should sew clothes. To sew about 6 yards of material. To sew this.
Internationally ranked university.
It's gorgeous. It's so
She bought 6
nice.
yards. See what she
Visit
sew.
our office at
Black and
Central Tars.
Who said she bought 6 yards? What's wrong with you?
2 piece candle. Set to go. Oh, sorry.
That's why I say it's a design. That's why I'm like, pay attention to what is this job. It's so
It's a
cute.
designer, yeah.
It's so nice.
I'm just saying.
It's so nice. Because I know exactly how this will look.
Kaplan International, building futures.
I'm still watching this.
Right, I have like folded.
No, for what?
Not throughout though.
I followed William and Kate because I saw I saw somebody's career fulfilled. Somebody had a career plan to marry William, and she fulfilled it. I
There
thought,
was a plan.
let me move my shirt and
Stop
start
slamming the
talking.
table, John.
Let me move my shirt and start talking about how Kate and her mother arranged this thing. But it was interesting to see, and I was happy for that because I think
An all-exclusive trip to Russia.
it's a lie, it's not something. He's tired of people's wild lives.
reality now. I went to Russia this summer.
And then they sent a black person who grew up in England to that cover. These people, they just know how to do the work and finish. They sent,
I like that.
yeah, it's a you're black and you're British.
You can do this. You can do this. All right, we are back in studio. Mics are up.
Now.
He makes it sound really good. Welcome
he does.
back inside the locker room. We've got messages still that have come through up on WhatsApp, and then we'll move on to our final sports story. Daniel from Ikoton says, you guys are doing a great job this morning. So Goetze all of a sudden is not going to the World Cup. He will be remembered for the 2014 final, which takes us on to today's story. You see, injured Manuel Neuer was named in Germany's extended 27-man World Cup squad for Russia 2018, despite not playing since September, as political friction threw a shadow over Tuesday's announcement. So it was announced by Lowe. He says Manuel is getting back into full training this week at Bayern Munich. That assures us that he can tolerate the full load in the training camp. Tega.
Yeah. So he's making it. And Goetze is not making it. And Lowe actually said it was because of Goetze was not in a good form this season, and there was no point taking him. A couple of I mean, it's a question of form. So I can't really make an argument for Goetze. I mean, since I moved to Bayern Munich, it's really been a walk downhill as opposed to up. So maybe this would make him or give him more ambition or motivation to play better. Mustafi also didn't make it. I was so surprised. I was like, yeah, Mustafi was definitely not going to make it. It's German squad, it's defense. They're not going to make it. Emre Can is also not going to make the list. It's just, Germany has too many options. They can afford to drop some players that walk into some other teams, some other countries' first team. And that's just the way it is. They can't take a lot of players. They've taken who they want to take. That's a sad one. On the England side, I'm hearing names like Joe Hart and Jack Wilshere will not make the World Cup list. And maybe Fabian Delph will make the World Cup list. We'll talk about those lists when they officially come out.
All right. Something to watch out for is coming up next. Well, in 14 days, we're counting down to the Ladies in Sports International. And to catch the latest, the updates, really go to Twitter and follow at LIS International. And it's 14 days to go. Sports business is everybody's business.
Yeah, it is everybody's business, indeed.
Yes.
All right. A big shout out to Steve Walker and Obi Nightmare who sent in messages up on our YouTube platform. We see you guys. Steve says that the Cavs team without Jordan Harford and Kyrie, how can J.R. Smith play over 25 minutes without scoring a point?
He will fear.
On that note, please also follow Tega Suprema. She's up on Twitter, and stay with us because we've got a special inside of Lagos Talks 981. We're going to be focusing on insecurity in the nation and discussing just where we're at and how secure we really are.
Oh,
Awesome.
thank you. That was good.
Thank you.
Okay, so